Give me a break.
Well, we're live.
We are live.
We are live. How you doing? Well, welcome to the weekly rundown, folks. I'm your host, Bullseye Bob, and sitting next to me is
Bueller. Comics with Bueller.
That's right. Absolutely. Thanks for joining me on the show. And
you're at my house.
I know, huh? But this is the weekly rundown. This is the show where we get together and we talk about the latest in comic book, movie, and TV news, and just pop culture stuff, whatever's hot at the time. And we'll be doing this every Thursday, hopefully, going forward. And but it's just a chance to get together and talk about stuff that we love.
There you go.
And so welcome. Thank you guys for popping in. And I know that we do have some people who are already here in the chat. Just mentioning the chat. If I don't see that you're there, if I forget you, please forgive me. I'm kind of new at this.
You want me to do it?
If you want to, that'd be.
Hey, we got Derek Magnus in the chat. We got Comic Crazy as well. We got Two Gun Pedro, not to mention Hero and the Kid. Brian Bigelow's here, and William showed up. So far, so good.
There you go. That was easy because they're all sitting right there.
Yeah. God Tank is here. There you go.
Hey, God Tank. Well, welcome, you guys. Thank you very much for tuning in.
Mike.
Hey, Mike. Thanks for tuning in, Mike.
Okay.
All right.
We'll come back to this.
We'll come back to this. So we have some news to talk about today. But before we get into the news, I do have a couple of announcements. So first of all, next week, next Thursday, there will be no show. I have some things going on at work, and I have to work after hours that night, so I won't be here. And then the following week, there still may not be a show. I got a procedure that I'm going through, and it'll depend on my recovery. But it's kind of iffy as to whether or not there'll be a show. I definitely want to make it, but
Sure.
We'll see what happens.
Sure. So much go on, Bob.
But if you don't see us for the next 2 weeks, it doesn't mean the show is canceled. It just means things are going on, but we will be back.
I don't think you can cancel a YouTube show.
Well, but there are some people just drop off and they never show back up. And I would consider that canceled, right? That's like, oh, they must have canceled the show or they dropped dead. I don't know what, whatever.
Drop dead.
There we go. Thank you very much, God Tank. I appreciate that. But we do have a couple of announcements before we do.
Number one drama queen. There, I had to get that in there.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Yeah, there's a fly on your head.
No, that's what it says. That's the name.
Who said
number
that?
one drama? Not you. Look how sensitive he is. Calm down.
Oh, that's great.
Calm down there, buddy.
I'm all right. Where I don't see drama queen. Where's drama queen?
Number one drama queen.
Oh, there's number one drama queen. How you doing?
Oh my.
What's a name?
Whoa. Watch what you say around the big guy. Sam.
Where's
okay, what's the announcement?
There we go. Announcement. All right. So that's the first thing is next 2 weeks, possibly there's no show. Next week, definitely not. And then the second week, possibly not, but we will be back. The next thing is I'm coming up on 1,000 subscribers. I'm almost up to 800 subscribers this week. Thank you guys very much. I appreciate that. And I have got a 1,000 subscriber giveaway going on. And all you have to do is go to my coffee video that drops on Saturday mornings. It's Having Comics with My Coffee. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about the show and be subscribed to the channel. And that's all you have to do to enter. And I'm going to have some great prizes. We got the poster from the image signing that we went to where all 6 of the executives from Image signed it. That's Todd McFarlane, Robert Kirkman, Mark Silvestri, Eric Larson. I mean, it's amazing. All 6 signatures are there. That's going to be the grand prize. I also have some CDs from Ukla the Mock, who does the theme song for my show. And then I also have some other things in the works that'll be part of that. And so we'll give a few things away.
So what do they have to do again?
They have to be subscribed to my channel.
Okay.
And they have to leave a comment on my Coffee and Comics video.
All right. So when I did my contest, my rules was they had to be subscribed to my channel and go subscribe to your channel. Thanks for returning the favor, Bob.
I asked you if you wanted me to do that. You told me no. So don't be all trying to throw me under the bus in front of all our peeps.
Goes around, comes around, right?
I mean, I could definitely do that, but you told
me. No. I don't want you to get uncomfortable.
Oh, is that
You're
right?
You're doing just fine.
You see how this guy is?
You
see how this guy is? Oh, I love it.
I'll just sit in the corner in the background. Last video, he had me sit in the background.
Oh my gosh. Yes, he was in the background. All you could see was the hat.
There you go. All right.
And then the next announcement that I have is tickets are on sale for the Washington State SummerCon. This is June 20th and 21st at the in Puyallup at the Washington Fairgrounds. I think that's what it is.
Washington State Fairgrounds.
Yeah, Washington State Fairgrounds. If you haven't checked out the lineup, go to the Washington SummerCon website. I will put a link down in the description.
Nice.
And go check out the lineup. It's amazing. There's going to be so many legends there that's going to be amazing.
Yeah, and if you want to see me host comic book panels with these legends and look like an idiot on stage in front of 100 people or so, there's your opportunity.
And it's a lot of fun. It's like he doesn't squirm very much, but it's a lot of fun to watch.
Jesus. Next time, man. Next time it's going to be top notch.
There we go.
Strobe light, smoke machine, glow sticks.
Flame pots. You know? Oh, that's too funny. But anyway, that's right there is the announcement that I have. Bueller, why don't you tell them about your channel and what's going on over there?
Well, real quick, we got a couple other people. We got the Comic Club in the chat. Hello, how are you?
Hey, man.
And then we also have, I thought I saw someone else, Southern Comic Geek as well.
Hey, buddy.
I'm pretty sure I got everybody, but if I missed you, my apologies. But yeah, I do have I have a channel. It's called Comics with Bueller. I do have videos on there every now and then, and some people watch and most people don't. But if you want to go check it out, feel free to go do it. I tell you to go on Bob's homepage and to go to the featured channels, but I'm not on that either. So that's not available. So you just have to type it in the search and go from there. So
what
there
are you
you go.
about?
Huh? Never mind. We don't want to go into detail.
I put you in the...
Hey, man, you're a featured channel on my homepage.
Really?
Yeah.
You need to show me what's up with that because
I had to find out for myself how to do it. Maybe someone else should do the same.
Oh, my gosh.
Next topic.
Okay.
Oh, Mike, how you doing?
Next topic. Now I feel like an idiot. I'm out of here. So we got some news to go over.
Sure.
And so that's the crux of the show. And so our first piece of news is, I mean, it's on everybody's mind, right? It's the coronavirus. And I know that that's not pop culture news, but the coronavirus is definitely affecting pop culture entities. It was announced today that the movie industry is looking at losing upwards of $5 billion in revenue based upon what's going on in the world with the coronavirus. They've already seen in China and Japan no theaters, so nobody's going to the movies there. And then we got the announcement yesterday that the new James Bond movie has been pushed all the way to November because they're not confident that they can release this next week and make the revenue that they thought that they were going to make. And this is having huge repercussions. And it's not just in the movies, but we're starting to see things in the comic industry as well, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so what are the type of things that you've heard so far?
Well, I mean, I kind of mentioned this the other day. If people are canceling or whatnot, and if people are getting upset that people are canceling, like I said, this is a bigger problem than just worrying about comic books and stuff like that.
Sure.
So cancel everything if you have to be totally honest. And I'm okay with that because people are dying. Because literally a couple hours away from us, a dozen people have died
so
in the last couple of weeks. I mean, that's literally right up the street. Right. Our county is in a state of emergency.
Right.
They already declared it like a couple days ago.
Yep.
So when it comes to movies and Comic-Cons, that's the least of my worries, to be honest. So whatever they need to do to not spread this that causes harm to people, I am 100% okay with.
Mm-hmm.
And when I see the list of people canceling for Emerald City, which is, in the next weekend, I get it. They're doing the right thing, to be honest, especially in that area.
Yeah.
Where there is literally, I mean, the place where people are dying is like down the street from the convention center.
Absolutely. It's not very far at all.
It's like just a couple miles.
Right. And of course we are talking about the Emerald City Comic-Con where people are canceling. And he's right. It's just up the street.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I'm starting to look at, though, you're exactly right. It's the right thing to do. As a matter of fact, they've already had businesses, send people home for pretty much the whole month. Microsoft, everybody at Microsoft is working from home until I think the 24th of March, which is, I mean, I think the right thing to do. But in the midst of this, it's going to have impact on our industry. It's going to have impact in comics, not just Comic Cons, but if this thing keeps growing the way that it is, we need to be taking a look at what type of impact it's actually going to have on not just revenue, but stuff going forward. There's a lot of projects that are in play. And if those projects go away, I know you just said, yeah, this is the right thing to do, and I agree with you, but I'm going to be pretty sad that some of these things go, if that's the case.
Well, it's just a matter of waiting. I mean, I don't mind waiting. If I got to wait a little bit longer for something and people are safer for that, have at it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wait as long as you want.
Absolutely. So we are getting reports that there are creators and vendors and pretty much that's just it. Creators and vendors who have pulled out of Emerald City Comic Con.
Yeah.
I know the announcement that DC was one of the first who had pulled out. Dark Horse has. And then Jim Lee announced personally that he was not going to be there. And so I don't know what this means for Emerald City Comic Con, but if they're coming to a point where I think that they cannot recover with the amount of people who have canceled already, I think it was good of them that they're offering refunds.
Yeah, but they have also said that they are going forward. I mean, they are still doing it. So,
right.
They doubled down yesterday and said, we know that people are canceling. We know that, I looked, it was like over almost 90 vendors and people and creators and stuff that canceled. But
out.
I don't know how many people they got going there, but that seems like a big chunk of people that aren't going, and pretty much their headliners are not there.
Emerald City Comic Con usually draws in about 90,000 people a year, so it's one of the bigger cons.
Yeah,
and so it makes sense that people are canceling, but for them to go forward, I don't know if I agree with that. They have declared now a state of emergency in the state.
Yeah,
it'd be interesting to see what happens.
California did today, I think, too.
Did they really?
Or part of California.
Interesting. I hadn't heard that yet.
Yeah.
But I mean, it makes sense because what that does is it leverages, the medical services in the direction that it needs and gives them funds.
It frees up the money just to help this thing. So.
Exactly. But with the fact that it's doubling the amount of cases ever since they've announced it in Seattle or in Washington, cases have doubled in size every day. Yeah. And so I wouldn't be surprised if we see that show get canceled, which brings me, to the last part of why I wanted to bring this up is that we have MegaCon next month.
Yeah. And
now there's no cases in Florida that I've heard of.
There is.
I wouldn't be surprised at all.
No, I saw that.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
And, it's only a matter of time before they start canceling flights out of the airports in Seattle and Portland if it gets worse. Yeah. And so it's just something to keep an eye on. It's something that I would be very bummed if I couldn't go. But it's something I'm definitely watching out for. Yeah. And I think it definitely is something that, we need to be looking at as far as impacting, comics as we know, and especially, the stuff that we love. So, but that's it. Coronavirus is definitely in the news. I just thought it would be one of those things that we should at least,
sure.
Talk about it because of where it's at. But let's go ahead and move on.
Okay.
All right. So next piece of news is the Hawkeye show from Disney Plus. I mean, we have a number of shows for the MCU that have been announced, and out of all of them, one that had seemed like it had gotten shelved was the Hawkeye show. They were in talks with Haley Stanfield to play Kate Bishop. Because that seemed the direction that they were going to go. They were going to go with the whole training of which is awesome. And then all of a sudden, it seemed like Jeremy Renner was out. Yeah, and they were in talks of possibly having somebody replace him. And
replace Hawkeye,
right? Exactly. How can you do that? But we got news today. Actually, it came out yesterday that Jeremy Renner, in an interview, said that he is going into the training, aerobicizing, getting into shape, so to speak, on the same type of routine that he went through for Endgame and Infinity War and all those movies, because he's going to play Hawkeye. Yeah. So it definitely seems like that show is not shelved. And in that news article, they talked about the fact that it looks like it's going to be slated around the same time as the Ms. Marvel and She-Hulk show. And so I may be really excited.
Sounds like somebody got some more money.
It sounds like it, doesn't it?
Is the girl still slated to be in there?
That I don't know. It
Because
did say,
I like her. She's actually a pretty good actress.
I think she would be an amazing Kate Bishop.
Yeah.
And they definitely, it seems like they're going the way of creating Young Avengers. And I think she would have been an amazing addition.
They're just getting older, so they got. In the movies, the actors age. In the comics, they don't age.
No, they don't.
So you can just, how old is Batman?
80, more than that now. Right?
He doesn't look it in the latest episode, does he? Or the latest issue?
Nope.
Yeah. So
exactly. So, but bottom line is that throughout the movies we've had these inklings of these younger characters. You had Cassie Lang, who would be Stature.
Mm-hmm.
You definitely have Monica Rambeau's daughter, Photon, and there's a bunch of these different use. They basically brought out Miles Morales inside of the Spider-Man movie.
So they took the kid that was in Iron Man 3 that like Tony was like hanging out with for a little bit, and he shows up in the end game at the end. He does. Just there at his funeral.
Right.
Who's he? Is he supposed to be someone down the line?
Well,
they put him there for a reason.
I believe so too.
There was a lot of other people in those movies that were just there for just a few minutes, like that kid was.
Right.
They didn't bring those people back.
Nope.
But they did bring that kid back.
They did. That's a good point.
Yeah.
But there is speculation on the fact that he may be playing a character going forward. I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
They definitely have to put somebody in the Iron Man suit. I don't know if we'll get an Ironheart or if we'll get somebody like this kid, getting a suit of his own. I don't know. I would definitely like it though. But it seems like they're fleshing out Young Avengers. But when the news of this came out that Jeremy Renner is training for the show, I got really excited because I really love him as Hawkeye. I think he does really a good job. He does.
Even I remember seeing him in Thor.
Yeah.
And just that small little thing, I was like, oh, that's kind of cool, and that's Hawkeye. So that's, even though they don't say who it is,
right?
But who it is.
Sure.
And then seeing them in Avengers, and it was great. I love the character in there and the stuff he did, and just his attitude fits very well with the other cast, and then they all do, to be honest. That's one thing I liked about the Avengers movies and stuff. There's nobody there in the Avengers movie that's out of place. There's nobody for the main characters. He just doesn't fit, or she doesn't fit as far as the chemistry the actors have. They all have it together. That's not easy to do.
No.
But every time they've been able to do that, it works out. Who would have thought that Batista, the wrestler, okay, nothing against him as acting. No. But here he is. He comes into Guardians of the Galaxy. For one, Guardians of the Galaxy was a B-list team in the comic book world.
Yeah.
They put this movie together. It's amazing.
Sure.
And he does an incredible job.
He's one of the pieces that makes that totally work.
I would have never thought that. But they pulled it together, and it works awesome. So, they really fire on all cylinders. And it's impressive when you think about it. When you compare the other ones, like Justice League, I did not see the chemistry. The chemistry I did see in Justice League was forced. Like they were trying to do it. And it was like, it wasn't natural between the people involved. Marvel, on the other hand, I never get that impression.
No. What they do is very well done. It's a very well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
Love the content that they put out. And let's just face it, they made a lot of mistakes at DC. They're getting better. They put out some really good stuff in the last couple of years. And so I'm very optimistic when it comes to that, but it's nowhere near the level of the MCU.
Yeah.
Let's just face it. And so these TV shows, having the budget that they do, very excited that Jeremy Renner is going to reprise the role, because without him, I just don't think that they should have moved forward. Without him. So, he's mainstay part of the team. I don't know. What do you guys think in the chat? Is Jeremy Renner, is that our guy? I think so.
There you go. You're welcome, Jeremy Renner.
Come on now. And then so next piece of news.
Yeah.
We got some Rise of Skywalker news.
All right.
Your cat's going crazy.
I know. She's like climbing the mountain in the closet. We're like watching her. Okay. Whatever.
There we go. Sorry, guys, we're distracted. We're watching the show.
Next topic.
Like I said, we have some news on some Rise of Skywalker news, and Star Wars has a bad history of doing things inside of their movies and then later on going back and having to correct them because they shouldn't have done that thing.
Yeah.
And so we got a little bit of that going on inside of this. So I guess the book for Rise of Skywalker has come out, and it has corrected some things that were from the movie.
Sure.
One of the things that wasn't very clear was how was it that Palpatine, survived, and they really didn't talk about that inside of the movie. And as it turns out, he's a clone. He had cloning technology, and basically, his consciousness is inside.
That's what they said?
That's what they said in this book.
Okay.
Right. And so...
he's not even a real deal?
He's not even the real deal. Right.
I wasted my money.
But, I mean, here's one of those things where it's like they didn't explain that very well inside of the movie. I don't think it would have went over well if it would have been a clone. I think maybe people could get on board with that. But, here they are kind of back correcting it. And I mean, I don't know. I guess I don't have that much of a problem with it. But here's another one of those things that they're correcting.
Yeah.
And so what do you think about that?
I don't know. I mean, it seems like we're just bound to see every character from the original trilogy make an appearance in the new ones in some sort of fashion. Yeah. And the Emperor was never to me like the big bad. It was Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Darth Vader was the big bad, and you only saw the Emperor a few times. And then if you watch the prequels, give me a break. That was horrible. Didn't care about the Emperor then either.
Right.
And I liked the fact that they had to have an Emperor in Return of the Jedi because that was the whole climactic ending to that, and the turn of Darth Vader to help his son,
right,
and everything. But I've never been like, oh, the Emperor is the main guy. So I mean, I don't know. It didn't bother me too much, and finding out that he's a clone, I thought they were all clones. I mean, that's what the wars were about, right?
Right.
I don't know. So there's little phantoms of people. A little phantom Luke Skywalker, phantom. The Han Solo made an appearance in the movie. For God's sake,
that's exactly right.
Was that a clone?
Nope.
That's just imagination. Give me a break.
That's a great point. But I mean, here we go. I mean, they're talking about because of the fact that this is a clone of Palpatine. And we know none of the movies ever showed Palpatine having a relationship. How in the heck is Palpatine, related to Rey? Because that's what they brought out, that she's a Palpatine, right?
Coitus.
That's how it would normally be.
It works.
But they're basically saying that no, he didn't have any kids in the traditional sense.
Emperor Coitus, man.
Right.
Jeez, imagine that wrinkly face.
What they're saying is that one of the clones went bad and didn't work out the way it was supposed to, and that clone had kids, had a relationship, and had kids. And that's
why would you have to have kids if you just got clones?
I don't know, but obviously one of them went off the deep rails, and it's like, I want to do something different.
Here's my clone kid.
He goes out, has a relationship, and has a clone kid. And
that one drunken night in the cantina.
There you go.
Mos Eisley. There you go.
Mos Eisley. Never be a place of more scum anyway.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, so he didn't have relations in the normal sense, so to speak.
You don't know that.
That's what the book is saying. It was actually him clone going off the deep rails and going after whatever he went after.
Sure.
That's how Rey came about. And so it's getting into some weird relationship stuff.
Okay.
Right. So they kind of retcon that a little bit. And so let's get into a little bit more weird relationship stuff. So they came out and said that the kiss that happened between Rey and Kylo Ren, right? There were a lot of people who were very pissed off about that.
Why?
Well, because you had two different schools. There were schools that the one school wanted this relationship between Kylo Ren and Rey, the romance that was budding in between all this Force stuff, and they were waiting for that to happen. So that's one school. When the kiss happened, they're like, oh, it finally happened.
Sure.
That's why in the theater when it happened, I had half the theater boo, because the other half were so pissed about Han Solo getting killed by the dude that they wanted him to die, period. No kiss, no romance. And they were glad when he kicked the bucket, and then they cheered. I don't know about your theater, but that's what was going on.
There was like 2 people in the theater when I saw it.
Oh, really? Mine was full. And so basically what they're saying is, and this is a retcon from the book, that kiss that happened was a friendship kiss.
Yeah.
And there was a bunch of people out there who are like pissed off about this. But here again, here's something that Star Wars did, and now they're backpedaling on and creating some. I mean,
what's a friendship kiss?
I don't know.
I mean, you're a friend.
Well,
but I don't want you leaning in.
Don't even go there. I'm not doing that.
Just don't be leaning in, man. I really like you a lot.
I appreciate
you're
that.
a good friend, but
this is that's about it, man.
Even that was kind of weird.
I know. But bottom line is that again, Star Wars has a track record of messing something up and then backpedaling on it. I'll put an example out there. Greedo firing first. What the hell was that?
I don't remember any of that.
You don't remember that?
No.
Watch the original Star Wars. Greedo fires first under the table.
I never saw the original.
What?
I'm kidding.
Yeah, you're a guy, man.
What does it matter who fired first? It's who survives is what matters.
Yeah, right.
If Han Solo wouldn't have survived, we wouldn't have these
across
movies.
The table from you, and I'm like this, right?
Finger guns.
But people are like pissed off about the fact that this was supposedly a friendship kiss, and I'm like, what are you so mad at? And some people are saying
maybe they should be mad at Luke Skywalker making out with his sister.
And that's the point I was trying to make, right? They're saying, oh, the friendship kisses existed because that was a friendship kiss. I'm like, no, it wasn't. He actually smooshed on his sister before he knew who she was. So
they knew.
They knew.
They felt it. They felt it, man. Nobody told them they were. He felt it. She felt it. She's like, I know. I feel it.
I've always known.
Yeah, she's always known. Making out with him.
I love it. Absolutely. I mean, so to come back later on and say, oh, no, just a friendship kiss. I call bull. Anyway, There are people out there who got really upset about it. And I just thought it was interesting news because it just seems like every time Star Wars makes a movie, they mess up in some way because they can't please everybody.
It's almost impossible. I mean, it's such an iconic. I mean, on a serious note, I mean, Star Wars, the original trilogy, is so iconic and groundbreaking, and fans are so dedicated to it. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter if you do prequels or sequels. Nothing can stand up to those 3 movies.
No,
it's almost an impossible task. You can try your best. I mean, the first sequel of this series, it was literally almost like a redo of the regular Star Wars movie.
Right.
I mean, it was the same concept over and over and over. I mean, you saw the similarities in the 2.
Absolutely.
You could sit there and say, oh, that character's supposed to be that one. That character's supposed to be that one. It was just right down the line.
Yeah.
I don't blame them for doing that.
I don't either.
But it's such a high bar to kind of rise to. And there's not too many movies that have that standard that you can rise to. And so it's almost you're going in with your backs against the wall when you try to do something like that.
Right. Which, again, I think in order to do anything Star Wars right, they got to do something brand new, which is why The Mandalorian works.
Yeah, The Mandalorian, and not to mention Rogue One was a really great movie because that was, it involved characters that weren't in a couple that were in there, but for the most part, we know a little bit. We know they got the plans and here it is. How that all happened, that was great. That's probably one of my favorite Star Wars. Besides the 3, that's my 4th favorite one.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it was very well done. And all the callbacks to the original. Yeah. And since we never saw any of those characters in the original, they killed them all. I thought that was genius.
I like Solo. I thought Solo was pretty good, but I had a problem with the fact that the actor playing Han Solo was like 6 inches shorter than Harrison Ford, and it didn't make any sense.
Right.
So apparently he had a growth spurt in his mid-30s.
Well, there's that.
Or mid-20s or whatever.
The thing that made me mad about that movie, I was on board with pretty much the story, the whole thing. Loved all the Lando scenes. But the one thing that got me inside of that movie that pissed me off was that we kept hearing all our lives when we were growing up that the Millennium Falcon made the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs, which is supposed to be amazing.
Yeah.
And then we find out that it wasn't even like a total race or anything. They took a shortcut, right? And that's how they made it in 12 parsecs, which was just a bunch of bull.
That's what gets you upset?
It got me upset. I'm like, dude, you know,
This guy.
that's the Falcon to be fast. It was fast. It just took
So
a
it's
shortcut.
not the brother and sister making out thing. It's the Kessel Run that gets
Well,
you
I
going.
thought we were on a whole different
No, I'm just saying. All right.
Anyway, just goes to show you can't please everybody, especially when it comes to Star Wars.
Kessel Run problem, incest below that.
There you go. Our Palpatine not having coitus, but having coitus, right? There it is. Let me check in with the chat really quick. How you all doing? Let's see. We got Sam Fett. He's in the chat. How you doing, man? Comic Crack. How's it going? We got Ben Compton saying happy birthday to Sam. Happy birthday, Sam. Let's see. I missed anybody else? Did we talk about Mike Rogers earlier? Comic Club.
Mike,
we going?
We're probably missing some people.
Hydra Collectibles. How you doing?
He's all the way over across the pond.
Is he?
Yep.
Let's see. Derek Magnus says most Star Wars fans love to complain about Star Wars.
We love to complain about everything. It's America. It's America.
America.
Want it now.
Comic Crack says, it's what I always say to my wife, just feel it.
Comic Crack.
Love it. Let's see. Yep, then I go to sleep. Hydra Collectible. What does he say here? I'd rather hear negative feedback from fans than a general audience. If you love something, your opinions on the negative are far more acceptable in my book. Example, I love Lost, but know what's bad.
He does love Lost, man.
Yeah.
He's the most hardcore Lost fan I've ever met.
Really?
I mean, not even close. I mean,
Interesting.
it's like him, and then like way down is the second person.
Oh, wow. Well, I liked Lost. I liked Lost a lot. I thought it was genius with J.J. Abrams. You know, I didn't like the ending, but other than that, it was a wild ride, and I dug getting there.
The ending was perfect.
You think so? We got Punished Comics. How you doing, man? Billy Meadows. And thank you guys all for tuning in. What does he say? Mike Rogers says, looking at deals on Dynamic Forces. America. All right.
Rob Boswell here.
Hey, Rob. How you doing?
Woot.
Woo. Cool deal. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. And we do have more news.
It sounded like you were going to end it right
Nope.
there. What just happened?
So we got news this week I was pretty happy about. This is some more MCU news. Mark Ruffalo, who's the king of spoiling things, he basically was at C2E2, and he was talking, I don't know if it was a panel or with some fans, but he has been in talks to be in the She-Hulk show, which I think is absolutely amazing. Did you hear about this?
Yeah.
What'd you think about it?
I love She-Hulk. She-Hulk's one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
And I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, it's just She-Hulk was owned by a different property for a while. I don't know. Did they get her back?
I think they have her back. I don't think that's part of the Universal deal because Universal owns Hulk.
Yeah.
I don't think she's part of the
Universal
Universal
She was
deal.
Paramount.
Paramount. Okay,
Yeah.
Then they
if I'm
have
not
her
mistaken,
back.
she was Paramount. But and then I heard that the girl that's going to play her is, I can't remember the name, but she was the girl in possibly she was from Community.
Oh, really?
Allison Brie or something.
Oh,
like that.
yeah,
And I think
yeah.
that I might be wrong on the name, but she also is in Glow, the Netflix show.
Mhm.
I mean, obviously they're gonna, use a CGI or whatever for the actual Green Hulk lady because she's not very big, but she's a great actress. If that's who they're picking, then like I said, I don't know, but she'll do a great job.
I think so.
She's got a full range of comedy and drama. You name it, she can pull it off. But having him in there, he's fun.
I think he is too. I think it would be, I mean, especially, how they've portrayed him now that he's Professor Hulk, him coming in and, kind of being that voice that's helping her out with her powers and helping her understand what's going on with her, I think would be would be amazing.
Yeah.
Of course, we don't know what take they're gonna use with She-Hulk. They haven't mentioned, I don't think, which comic book run they're gonna draw from. But I really hope that one of the things I'm hoping is that they do kind of the Deadpool thing. Jennifer Walters, She-Hulk, she was the first one that did that breaking of the fourth wall, making fun of who's here, and there's some things on.
Your computer wants the update.
Oh, well, I don't want to update right now.
Okay, you guys come back in about 45 minutes.
Sorry about that. But yeah, I hope they do that fourth wall breaking, but whoa. Please tell me that's not happening. You guys still there?
I don't think they are.
Oh, no.
I think you hit confirm.
I didn't, though. All I didn't even. There we are. Can you guys see us? Woohoo!
Oh my.
All right. Okay, look at it. Still there. Whew. Man, that was like, that was crazy.
This is the show that gets canceled.
You got to see me panic there for a minute. So anyway, sorry about that, guys. My whole screen went away and it looked like you guys were gone. And I thought, oh, that sucked.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
That's the hijinks that we have on this show. Stay tuned for more. But anyway, getting back to She-Hulk.
Yeah. You're talking about breaking the fourth wall. I don't like that.
You don't like that?
No, I don't think I'd be interested in that. I would like to see it just, if she were to do it and he's involved, then he's in on the gag as well.
Right.
Okay. Like if they have Mark Ruffalo and it's kind of like Deadpool and Deadpool's breaking the fourth wall, I don't want to see the Avengers characters breaking the fourth wall.
You don't want to see that at all?
No, I mean, I don't think that fits, because it's not that type of movie.
Right.
Well, they were Deadpool. That's kind of his thing. And I don't see, well, they might do it again with Deadpool, but I don't see them doing it with another character, especially with the established Avengers character.
Right. I mean, I don't know.
Did you see her standing next to Spider-Man and Captain America and she's talking to the camera?
I could.
And they're like, what's going on? And there's a cat breaking the fourth wall.
I think side conversation, towards the camera, I think it can be done. But all I'm trying to illustrate is the fact that we have no idea what take they're going to do.
Yeah.
There's a part of me that wishes, they would go on, full on courtroom. Jennifer Walters and maybe have, another lawyer that I know very well show up, which would be really freaking cool.
He already had his show that got canceled.
Yeah. But
remember that?
Not because of being bad though.
No, it got canceled because they didn't do it. They 3 seasons that didn't do it.
Yeah.
And then they did the movie and they're like, oh, we don't even like the movie, so they never even made another one.
Well, that was horrible. That was horrible.
A great movie.
The Netflix series was amazing.
No, that movie was great. Ben Affleck.
You're crazy.
The director's cut? No,
with Coolio.
Coolio? That's right. Coolio was in there.
Coolio was in it.
That's right.
But the director's cut was better, but it couldn't save the movie.
I don't know what your problem is with Daredevil.
What, the movie? It was horrible. It was horrible.
Whatever, dude.
Anyway, but I love the series, and I would love to see Charlie Cox come back. But even if they don't bring Charlie Cox back, if they were to bring Matt Murdock in to some courtroom scenes, I'd be happy. I'd be really happy.
I believe you.
But I mean, here we go. I mean, Mark Ruffalo, we didn't know what he was going to be doing going forward as far as the Hulk. We don't have any confirmation that he's going to be doing any more Avengers movies. To hear that he's going to be doing more MCU stuff, I think is amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm on board for it. I can't wait.
The longer they can keep that team together, the better. Obviously, Robert Downey Jr. is done.
Yeah.
For now. I mean, you never really know. But even though he's dead, but
right,
they could do a prequel. I don't know, whatever.
But didn't they come out of the rumor that he's actually going to be in the Black Widow movie?
He's good. Maybe, I don't know, but maybe he'll show up like a Force Ghost.
Yeah,
same company, right?
Same company, right?
Do that. Force Ghost.
They just show up everywhere.
Or the different universe. I don't know.
Right. Multiverse. Well, there was the rumor going around that Marvel could buy DC. Of course, that's been debunked, but
anything can happen.
If you got them all, why don't you?
I'm actually heard the rumor that DC's buying Marvel.
Really?
No.
That would be funny. But if you have them all, why not go ahead and just put Force Ghost and everything?
Yeah,
right?
I think Oni Press is buying Marvel.
Oni Press. That'd be great. Anyway, it was kind of cool to get some MCU news. Of course, I don't think he was probably supposed to speak about that out in the open. I think it was to a fan. But we do have rumors that he has been in talks for the She-Hulk show. And I dig that. I think it's amazing because I'll take as much as I can of the original Avengers. So, but there's that. And then we have one other piece of MCU news.
If time.
Well, we got some time.
We got time.
We got some time. So it basically, I guess, right? I don't know if this has been confirmed. So this is, I guess, into rumor mill stuff. But they talked about this last week that the one of the episodes of Falcon and the Winter Soldier was leaked. And in that episode...
The whole thing?
The script.
Oh, okay.
Right? And in that script, they definitely have confirmation of Omega Red being inside of it. And as soon as I heard that, I was like, please let that be confirmed. Because if this is definitely something that is confirmed, this would be one of the, I don't know if it's the first, but it would definitely be a major foray into mutants coming into the MCU. And definitely being that it's a Wolverine foe villain. I mean, I think we're getting closer to having Wolverine and the X-Men back. Can't wait for whatever we get from that, but I would love to see Omega Red in a live action property.
Isn't Scarlet Witch a mutant?
Yes, but they've never called her a mutant, right?
But she's been in like multiple movies.
She has, but they haven't called her a mutant. She was basically
it's not nice to be called a mutant.
I know it's not nice to be called a mutant, but she was made from the energy from the Tesseract. And, that's the whole Age of Ultron thing. And so it wasn't like, she was born that way and being Magneto's daughter and all that type of stuff with Quicksilver. So they kind of went their own way with it because, of course, Fox and Marvel were battling at the time. They had Quicksilver in the X-Men movies and they had Quicksilver in the MCU movies. And they were
That was the same actor, though.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was.
No, it wasn't.
Pretty sure you're wrong.
No, I'm pretty sure I'm right.
Yeah, you're right.
The guy from the Fox movie is the same guy that was in House of Horror.
And then the other guy was the guy from Kick-Ass.
Kick-Ass. Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right.
I know my stuff.
Was it? Yeah.
I just act like I do.
I know. Sometimes I do too. But bottom line is that they never actually called her a mutant, and I'd love that, but they never did.
Omega Red's a cool character.
Amazing character.
He's not in like the Black Widow, or they haven't said nothing about that.
They haven't said anything about that. But my theory is that if this is true, that it's very possible that they're bringing out all these Russian characters. Because you got the Red Guardian that's coming. You got Black Widow. They really haven't talked about Taskmaster too much. I saw this last week that he's actually been the guy that's going to be playing him is a man, which not a woman, because that was what I was afraid of. I was afraid that they were going to take her sister.
Well, I didn't hear any of that.
Because there's a
You're
scene,
much more in touch.
You think so? There's a scene inside of the trailer where she's all, who is that guy? Right. And I'm like, oh, they're going to bait and switch us. And it's going to be her sister in the Taskmaster costume. And that's why she mirrors, her moves. But it's definitely been shown that they had I think it was some type of award thing. And they were showing the castings. And it's definitely this guy. I don't know what the actor's name is. But
both actors who played Quicksilver were in the movie Kick-Ass. That they were actually.
That's right. That's right.
Whatever.
There you go. Hydra Collectibles. Thank you for pointing that out.
He knows his stuff, man. I'm telling you, man. He does the work.
There we go.
Real quick, on Omega Red, wasn't he referenced in the Deadpool movie? Like, wasn't he like?
Yes, he was in the
jail
prison. He was in the prison.
Like
yeah, he was.
I never saw anything. I mean, I saw the movie, but I didn't pay any attention to it. And I heard about it afterwards, after I saw it.
Right.
But I never went back and watched it. But
yeah, I haven't seen the movie since I don't know, the first time I got it.
When you say he was in it, he was. They showed him, or
I don't remember.
I don't know.
I know, but I know that there was some type of cutscene where he was definitely in it. But you guys know, was he actually in the movie? Like you could see him on screen? Because I think it would have been much bigger news if that had actually happened when it did. But definitely one of my favorite villains of all time.
He's a great character.
Oh my gosh. I mean, he's basically a vampire without being called a vampire. And I love that take on him. But he is also another Russian villain. And so I have this thing. It may be tying into that, whole thing with Black Widow, because it's definitely, coming in the Falcon and Winter Soldier, which, it seems like it's going to be a sequel to what we saw inside of Captain America 2 and Civil War. And so I think it's very possible that could all tie in. I mean, it would be really cool. But just to even hear that Omega Red is possibly going to be in this stuff really blew me away, and I would be so on board for that.
Yeah, it's not on your list, but can I bring up something else?
Yeah, go for it.
So I heard something about possibly who might play the next Wolverine.
That's way huge rumor. Really? Go ahead.
But it's Henry Cavill.
Henry Cavill.
All right.
Right.
Who obviously plays Superman for DC. I don't know if he's signed up to do more.
Right.
But I mean, it might be the wildest rumor ever.
Yeah.
But honestly, if he was Wolverine, thank you.
Yeah, when they mentioned it, I was like,
I'd be totally okay with it.
Everybody that they've mentioned,
he'd have to hunch down a little bit.
They could CGI him like they did Gimli, right?
Yeah,
and make him make him small.
Well, I mean, Hugh Jackman was like 6'4".
Exactly, but he would work.
I think he'd be awesome. I've always thought there's two people I'd like to see play Wolverine. There was Henry Cavill. I thought he would make a good one, and the other guy is the guy who plays Venom now.
Oh yeah, Tom Hardy.
I thought he'd make it, and unfortunately he's Venom. You couldn't have him do both because it's an active thing.
I would love to have Tom Hardy.
He's little.
He is.
Yeah.
People are talking about Taron Egerton, right? I do not want to see Taron Egerton.
The other guy who I actually heard, and I was like, that's not bad. Clint Eastwood's son.
Now that one intrigued me.
Yes.
Right? Because he has the look. And
yes.
I mean, if you've seen any of his movies, he kind of has the same approach that his dad does.
Yeah.
Right? And so he could definitely.
I mean, he has a very strong jawline, not like that. But I mean, I saw that. I'm like, yep, I see that. And he's not like really tall.
Right.
His father's quite a bit taller.
Yeah.
But I saw that. I was like, man, that'd be really cool.
I wouldn't mind that at all.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, if they obviously he's getting older, I have no problem with Hugh Jackman still doing Wolverine.
No.
I mean, if they want to do that and introduce it and whatever they're going to do with it, obviously it's not going to connect with the Fox stuff. But if he still plays it, great. But out of the people out there, it's such an important role. You got to get it right.
Absolutely. My thing is that I hope that they do come out with a new Wolverine. I would love to see Hugh Jackman continue the Old Man Logan stuff. I think that would be amazing.
He's already dead. He died in Logan.
He died. I know he died. But
he is Wolverine.
Books. But it's comic books.
He is Wolverine.
It's comic books.
He's been sitting there in a thing of metal for like years.
This is true. But I mean, nobody stays dead in comic books. I keep waiting for I guarantee you, Karen Page is going to come back in like 4 years. Guarantee you, it's going to happen. Because nobody stays dead in comic books.
I don't know.
Even Bucky, he ain't brought him back.
What?
Bucky.
Oh yeah, he's the Winter guy.
Right. But I mean, he was dead for years.
I don't know.
But I wouldn't mind seeing Henry Cavill in that role. Derek is saying that Derek he's 37 years old.
He's a young buck.
For playing Wolverine, yeah, he's a young buck. The rumor has been pretty much debunked for the most part. His contract with The Witcher has really stepped up. Plus some of the other projects that he's doing, it would be a very long time before he would be available. Plus, from what I understand, the door has not closed on him playing the Man of Steel. And I'm sure we'll hear more about that. But I wish they would say one way or the other.
I like Man of Steel.
I liked it a lot.
I like that one. I thought it was pretty good.
I did too. I
didn't like the color palette that they used. They used a weird color palette for that movie. It was kind of like a whitewash almost.
Right.
And then I saw like the behind the scenes footage, and it was nice, bright, and vibrant. Like, should have done that.
Yeah. I think that they should have went with the colors that they used in the Justice League, rather than the colors that they used in the Man of Steel, because that were a little bit brighter. That was a little closer to what I was expecting.
Yeah.
But I think Henry Cavill's an amazing actor. Put him in any superhero property, whether he's Wolverine or Superman, just bring the dude in. Yeah. Did you get a chance to watch The Witcher?
No.
Oh, it's amazing. It's really good.
I'm not going to watch it.
No?
No.
Why?
It doesn't interest me.
It doesn't interest me. Okay. But you watch Lock and Key.
I watched that, yeah. I watched that with Christian. We watched it together.
And Sam.
He watched a couple.
He watched a couple.
He was like, what the hell is this?
How you doing, Sam?
What the hell are we watching?
Right. But that right there is our news for the day, man. Do you have anything else?
No.
No? How about you guys?
I added something.
Yeah, you did. I appreciate that. But that's pretty much it. Guys, thank you very much for tuning in. We're gonna end in just a few minutes here.
Do we have any questions? How about that?
There you go.
Answer any questions?
That would be good.
How about your show? You can do whatever the hell you want.
I'm still learning this thing, man. Would you guys got any questions? We would love to field some questions.
Put a little question mark on there so Bob can see them.
Appreciate that. I mean, you can go take a look at anything inside the chat, too. Look at that. See, Sam. Sam liked the DD movie.
Yeah, see? Sam liked everything Marvel. He liked the Fantastic Four movie that never came out.
Aha.
He liked all that stuff.
What did you like the Fantastic Four movies?
Well, that's the first one.
The very first one?
The very first one.
The one, like, before...
No, not the one that wasn't produced.
Okay.
The one that actually came out.
Michael Chiklis.
Yeah, I thought that was all right.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was campy, you know, and stuff. And there wasn't a lot to compare it to at the time. So maybe I'd probably look at it differently if it came out now.
Yeah.
But at the time, there was no Avengers movies. There was just like one X-Men movie or maybe two or something like that. And the Spider-Man. And the Spider-Man movies, let's be honest, they're great. But there's a little bit of campiness to those as well. Right. That's kind of how Sam Raimi directs his movies. So I enjoyed Fantastic Four. And then the second one was okay, but didn't really, I liked seeing Silver Surfer, but, besides that. And then the other one that they did, I don't know what the dumpster fire that was.
I don't know what that was.
Jesus, that was bad.
All three of those movies that came out, though, none of them did Doctor Doom the way Doctor Doom should have been done.
Well, apparently he wasn't. Never mind. What is the average yearly rain count in the Amazon forest? I don't know.
It's 2 parts per million on a good day. And then on a bad day, you've got to get a coconut to fly with a swallow tied to it. And then you kind of figure it out. I don't know. I'm just making stuff up now.
Close enough. What is each of your favorite hero and villain in both DC and Marvel? There you go.
There you go. So, favorite hero and villain in DC and Marvel. You go first. DC.
DC favorite hero is Batman and then Joker. It's easy for DC. I'm not a huge DC guy, so it makes it really easy for me to do. Yeah. Marvel, it's a little bit different, but I would have to say I kind of go between Wolverine and Punisher, and I've said that before. As far as villain goes, I don't know if I have a favorite villain, but I've always liked Spider-Man's Sinister Six, the cavalcade of villains that he has. Sure. Kraven the Hunter, probably. Yeah. One of my favorites, but really all of them. The Lizard and, Scorpion and Rhino. Love all those. Anything with an animal involved. Yeah, that's good stuff. There you go. For me, of course, yes, it's Batman. Close second would be Flash. I usually go back and forth between those two. As far as my favorite villain, I have to say Joker. I mean, you just can't get better than that. But if you take Joker out of the equation, I go as far as liking things like, the Reverse Flash, Gorilla Grodd. Yeah. I love those. Marvel is much easier. For me, it's Daredevil and then Doctor Doom. Those are my two. I would say, honestly, Joker is my favorite villain overall between both. Really? So, yeah. Easy. Joker's an easy pick. I put Doom above him. Yeah. But Joker movie did a lot better than Doom's movie. I wish they would do a Doom movie. I'm going to get Robbie from Pop Culture Philosophy. We're going to start a petition and we're going to make that happen. Billy Meadows, your Shannon Mayer, I think he's the winner. Yes, it's on its way. It actually went out yesterday. And congratulations. It's coming. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I said give us a couple weeks. We had some things going on, and I was doing the Comics Pro and trying to recover for that. So yeah, it's on its way. So be looking for it. It'll probably show up next week.
Awesome stuff. Poor Mike says, where did you get those posters behind you?
Just a local comic shop called Comics Adventure. They have posters. They're actually sealed in like cardboard and stuff. They're not rolled up. And I think it's like $10 a piece.
Yeah. He's got good prices over on those. For sure. I think did we miss anything up here?
Let's see. Are you going to watch the Bloodshot movie, Bob?
Well, let's ask you first. Are you going to see it? No, I am. I'm definitely going to see it. Which that's actually something, to talk about. There's a couple of movies that are going to be coming out. The New Mutants is coming out next month.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued by it. I don't want to say if I'm excited about it, but I'm intrigued by it. How about you?
I'll see it when I get a legal copy.
A legal copy.
There's these apps on the Xbox that let you watch these movies for free.
Right.
They're on the Xbox.
I know. Yeah, so I don't know. Some of it seems kind of shady, though.
Not my problem.
But yes, and then the Black Widow movie's coming out.
Yeah, I'd like to see that one.
Yeah, for sure. And then what do you think about the Bloodshot movie?
It's another one of those I'll probably watch later.
Oh, okay.
I'm honestly, I couldn't really even tell you about the character.
Oh,
I've never had one of the books. Came out when I wasn't collecting. I've seen the books now, and I've never jumped on the band. I watched the trailer. It seemed interesting, to be honest, but it's not like something I gotta watch it. So
right.
I hope it's probably gonna be good. It looks good. I
think it's gonna be good. I know that Vin Diesel, he's a deep dive comic geek, and having him in a comic property, I think is gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I like Bloodshot from the 90s when Valiant had a lot of great stuff coming out. And so I'm interested in seeing the movie.
I don't know how to scroll down. 2 fingers?
Yeah, 2 fingers.
Oh. What are you gonna do?
Pew pew.
Give me a break.
Let's see. Shannon Mirror Ship. We got that one. Where'd you get the posters? Just checking to see if there's any ones that we haven't missed here.
You're doing good.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Poor Mike says, what? You read that? Poor Mike?
He says, what is your average price of a single issue comic you are comfortable with? Example, I don't like paying over $15.
That's an easy question.
That's an easy question. I mean, for a single issue comic, 15, if it's a special variant cover that's only got like, a few hundred made, like that Shannon Mirror Wonder Woman 750.
Yeah.
Right. I'll pay that price if it really strikes me. But other than that, I'm still pissed off that I have to pay over $2 for my regular comics to come out every week.
Cover price only for me, man. I don't go beyond. And if for the most part, I get a discount on top of that.
Right.
But I don't know what. People may think they look at my collection and stuff and think I maybe spend a lot of money. I don't.
No, you don't.
I really don't.
Right.
I mean, these guys have been with me. It's like I can't remember I spent more than $10 on a book. I mean, it's probably last year I didn't spend more than $10 on a book. I had to spend $8 for the Flash. Just yesterday, I was like, that sucks. But it was on my pull list.
Right.
If it wasn't on my pull list, I wouldn't have bought it. I would have just waited a month or whatever and got it for half price.
Right.
So, but it was on my pull list, so I always buy my pull list stuff. So,
yeah.
But no, I'm a cover price or less guy. And I mean, I don't know. I just cheap. What can I say? That's all there is to it.
like with some of the specialty covers, like with that Shannon Mirror cover I was just talking about, you couldn't get that one for cover price.
Yeah.
I mean, the companies that produce those for some of those guys, I like getting them when they're first coming out, and I won't pay over that. I did that one time, and I'll never do it again because it didn't hold the price. So, but yeah, thanks for asking that question. That's a really good one. But well, I think that right there is it, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in.
Got one more. Did you guys still buy back issues, silver or bronze?
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, I'll buy back issues. Not a lot, but like I said, same boat with me. It's if I'm going to buy back issues, they're going to be low price and probably low grade, and I don't mind that. I actually prefer I can get the lower price to lower grade books.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. I mean, as long as the cover is attached, no matter what looks, I don't care. It doesn't bother me one bit. And my Secret Wars #8, I love that book. There's literally a chunk about the size of a nickel that's off the cover. I have no desire to replace it.
Right.
I paid $5 for it, and I was like, perfect. If all my books had that chunk on them, and I'm still getting a $100 book for $5, I'll buy it.
There you go. For me, it's about the nostalgia factor. I can't collect everything, but there are some books that are really special to me.
Yeah.
I'll always go out and get those. And then there are some books that I will get that are nostalgic like that I want to have a creator sign. And usually when I get those, I try to get the highest grade possible. But, I don't go crazy and try to go for the 9.8 every time. Like my copy of Daredevil 131, it's got some dings in it, and it's a 7.0, and I love it. And I got Klaus Janson to sign it, and I'm getting Marv Wolfman to sign it this year, the guy who actually created Bullseye. So I'm excited about that. There you go.
Coffee Girl Espresso guy. Hello. I don't know who that is. Hello.
Hello.
The Pillars of Portland. Thank you.
Yes. We love coffee. We love comics.
And other things.
This is true. Well, there you have it, folks. I appreciate you guys tuning in to the weekly rundown. Again, there's not going to be a show next week and possibly the week after that, depending on how my recovery goes. But I really appreciate you guys hopping in and watching tonight. I really appreciate you. Bueller, do you have anything that you wanted to say before we go?
Yeah, just watch the show. And hopefully you have a good time.
Absolutely.
And be safe too, by the way.
Yeah, be safe, and stay healthy, guys. There's a lot of stuff going on out there, but appreciate y'all. Thank you very much for tuning in. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Really helps us out. And as always, support your local comic shop and Excelsior, folks. Take care.
You gotta press the button.
I know I do.